What if I told you two particles can stay connected, even if they're separated across the entire universe? No wires, no signals, no visible connection, just instant correlation. Some people are saying that sounds like God, but is that actually true? Because if science really points to God, that changes everything. But if we stretch science to try to prove God, we risk weakening our faith instead of strengthening it. So today, we're going to answer this honestly. Does quantum entanglement prove God exists? And if not, what does? Stay with me, because the answer is deeper and far more powerful. Right now, you might be watching this on a cruise ship, looking out over an ocean that feels endless. You can't see the other side. You can't see what's beneath, but you know there's structure, order, laws governing everything. That's exactly what science studies. And one of the strangest discoveries in modern physics is something called quantum entanglement. Here's the idea, simplified. Two particles interact. And after that, what happens to one is instantly related to the other, even if they are separated by massive distances. This puzzled even Albert Einstein, who called it spooky action at a distance. So naturally, people started asking, could this explain something spiritual? Is this evidence of God's presence everywhere? And that's where we need to slow down, because this is where many people make a critical mistake. Let's be clear. Quantum entanglement does not prove God's omnipresence. Why? Because it operates within physical systems. It does not transmit information faster than light. It does not demonstrate consciousness or divine awareness. So, if someone says science proves God exists because of entanglement, that's not accurate. Faith built on weak arguments collapses under pressure. But don't miss this. Just because entanglement doesn't prove God doesn't mean science is neutral. In fact, science reveals something profound. Science reveals the universe is deeply ordered. Science reveals the universe is deeply connected. Science reveals the universe is governed by precise laws. Psalm 19, verse 1 says, the heavens declare the glory of God. Notice what it does not say. It doesn't say the heavens prove God in a lab. It says the heavens declare God. The heavens point to God. The heavens reveal God. The heavens testify of God. Here's the difference. Science describes how the universe works. Scripture reveals why it exists. And when you confuse those, you miss both. Imagine being on this ship and studying the engines, the navigation systems, the physics of buoyancy. You could understand all of that and still completely miss the captain. That's what happens when we rely on science alone. Let me ask you, have you ever looked at the world and thought, there has to be more than this? That sense, that pull, that awareness, it's not an accident. A student once said, I kept trying to prove God scientifically, and the more I tried, the more frustrated I became. Then he said something that changed everything. What if God isn't meant to be proven like an equation, but known like a person? That's the shift. The Bible never tells us believe because of quantum mechanics. It points to something far stronger, the life of Jesus Christ, his teaching, his miracles, his death, his resurrection. Faith is not blind. It is rooted in history, revelation, and relationship. Think about a relationship. You don't prove love with a calculator. You experience it. You respond to it. You know it. That's how faith works. So, what does science do? It points to order. It raises questions. It reveals complexity, but it cannot answer why you exist. what your purpose is, how to be forgiven, how to know God. Only Jesus answers that. Here's the truth. We are separated from God by sin, but God didn't leave us guessing. He stepped into history. Jesus lived. Jesus died. Jesus rose again, not as theory, but as reality. So don't build your faith on something fragile. Don't rely on trends or half understood science. Build it on Christ. Quantum physics may reveal a mysterious universe, but only Jesus reveals a personal God. If this helped you think deeper, subscribe to Cruising with the King of Kings and share this with someone asking big questions about faith and science.